Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Avialence here, and I'm here with a video for the Curb Stomp Modeling YouTube page to help get things kickstarted here. So, as many guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, I have already covered the Guild Wars 2 character customization for the new races. However, I do want to go back through because my character got wiped and actually do a video talking about how I customized my Sylvari and also how they're such a unique and cool race. So, the Sylvari were added in this beta, and they're a race of tree people. They're basically awakened or born out of this thing called the Pale Tree. Now, cool little tie-in is, if you played the original Guild Wars, there's actually a small side quest where you helped defend a warrior who planted a seed, and that seed actually turned into the Pale Tree. So if you're a Guild Wars veteran and you did not know that fun fact, go do the quest because you're actually the reason that the Sylvari became born and became a race. So the Sylvari are a fairly young race, but the way that they're customized as a character is what really excites and enthralls me. So we're going to go ahead and go male, because this will be my character, as my character did get wiped. But you look through some of the armor sets here, and there's 8 classes in Guild Wars, right? For those of you who don't know about Guild Wars, it's a MMO game that's actually really unique. No monthly fee, so that'll be very interesting. However, there are some classes here, and the cool thing that you get to look at is how the armor is built in. So the Sylvari are a race of tree people. That is what they are. That is how they function and everything. And they really tied it into the armor. You'll notice that the robes are still there, but they do have some of the tree-like elements in there. The Elementalist and the Caster's not so much, but the Warrior is amazing right here. You see he's got these spikes, the thorns coming out of his back, all the vines and stuff. So the art style is actually really cool. Same with the Guardian. It's like this mystical kind of, garb from tree parts, which is really cool, really unique. And you also see with some of the character details, I'm clicking through all these different classes, they are one of the coolest looking races I've ever seen in a video game. Which is awesome because you really don't see this kind of race in a game that's fresh, original, kind of done itself and not as detailed. One of the mostly popular MMOs that everyone's familiar with right now is World of Warcraft, right? And with World of Warcraft, everything's very standardized. While you do have different races, there's not much differentiation when you're actually making a character, right? There's only so far you can go. But you can see here that these characters all look different, look cool. Some Slender too, like Slender Man or something, I don't even know. But the tree races are, the body types, are, the physique rather, is interesting, but it's there. So there's a Mesmer too, and it's just, Guild Wars 2 looks beautiful. Keep in mind this is on the roughly highest graphic settings, but you will be able to run Guild Wars 2 very easily. It just will remove some of the color detail and extra aniscopic filtering. So I'm going to go ahead and go Elementalist because that is what I play in the beta. I'm an Elementalist healer and support class. And you see here, this is the Guild Wars customization. Now you can customize the height, right? There's the height. And these are the typical heights of a human and thus the other, right? This being the typical height of your current race and the typical height of another race. So it gives you an idea of height and how you can customize your height. There's only so far you can go within your class, but we're going to make my guy really tall because I made him really short before and I totally forgot how short he was. So we're going to go ahead and hide the armor here. Now, you'll see that they gave it a little leaf groin patch, even though the tree, like I said, they were born from the pale tree, so they don't actually reproduce or anything like that. They're just born out of a tree. But you got a butt crack covering and a little groin pad of leaves. I guess they would have pissed some people off if they did that. But here you can see the different physique builds. So you have the basic, then you can go into the thicker. And also notice that I mentioned you can make a really interesting and unique Sylvari, and this is why this race is so intriguing to me. You'll notice when I swap physiques, it actually changes the bark, the actual texture on the character. And that's not something you see with other games, especially MMOs. So you're actually able to make your guy with some bark, right? Or some kind of in-between, or some leaves on the shoulders or anything like that. Which is just really cool and really interesting to me, right? You're able to do all these different builds and stuff. So you'll see that everything's changeable here, which the difference is amazing. This is actually the one I go with here because you do have the neck leaves, which are pretty cool, and then that wider body as well, the buffer body there. So this is a build I go with, but there's tons of different ones. You can just kind of mess around as long as you want. Now here, if you are going to be making a Sylvari, is a cool thing. So you have skin pattern, right? Now skin pattern's fairly standard. A lot of differences, right? A lot of differences. But you have all these different patterns. Let's find a color that actually kind of brings out. Okay, so white brings out the patterns. So these patterns, obviously you can tell they're different. Some highlights, some overdues, basically everything that you would expect from some character customization stuff here. So I actually go with this one right here, but there's a few differentials, so you can kind of mix and match whatever you'd like. Now, this is really cool. The Sylvari are a tree race, right? So naturally, what would you expect? Them to what's their blood type? You know, what does the blood look like and everything? Well, the Sylvari have a unique thing called illumination. Now, illumination is something that's in the bottom tab here on the skin pattern customizer, and you'll see many other videos like, well, I don't see any difference in changing, right? It's not changing anything because you see no changing difference. So what's going on here? This is the illumination. Now, the illumination is only noticeable when you're in a shadowed area in the game. There you go. So turn off your lighting to show the illumination, otherwise it's not going to be there. However, the illumination is a unique thing exclusive to the Sylvari that is their sap, their blood color, right? Their kind of extra plant life-esque thing, their little neon glow, if you will. And you can change this. So just make sure you turn off the light when you do the customization. You can get some like crazy cool looking characters, and we'll be messing around with it as soon as we get further down on the ladder. But yeah. Some pretty cool stuff you can mess with there. So that's the illumination. You can go purple, you can go into the yellows, and this is where you can kind of get really interesting. And this is why this character is so interesting to me, because there's so many different color palettes. Normally you're limited to some darker colors, right, or some lighter colors, or if you're a human, right, the black versus white skin with kind of the in-between. But this kind of lets you do whatever you want, which is so amazing to me, right? That's why I enjoy it so much. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to click it on white right now and go down to the head options. So we're going to go ahead and turn the luminescence off. Now here you have your hairstyle. So you have the bald right there. You have the ponytail, which is my personal favorite. Some other hair right here, some leafy kind of anime-esque hair. Now this is cool too. This entirely changes the texture. Now notice with the bald, it changes your head entirely. This changes the model completely. This is why the Sylvari are such a cool race and why I have so much respect for ArenaNet, because when you look at characters like the Draenei or anything like you'd see in World of Warcraft, right? The hairstyles just change on top. It doesn't actually change the model, right? It just changes what's on top. This actually changes the model, which is really wild. So you have tons of different model changes, which it's big. You know, it really makes this race so cool in my eyes. You know, I have the mushroom head, which is kind of cool. I love it with the neon under it. It's like glowing white mushroom, you know, but hey. Anyway, so you sit and you look through here, just so many different options, which is just crazy awesome. So here you also have your faces. You know, we're gonna kind of move through as we work. So you have your standard face. Kind of looks a little too happy down here. And again, with the face textures, normally it just meshes the different kind of cheekbone width and all that and everything you'd see in an MMO. But this changes the textures. Again, you see now he has a beard and different textures on the side. Then if we bump it up here, entirely different texture. I mean, this is what makes this so cool. Here, you even have little follicles coming off of your nose, right? Because you're like a little nightlife plant. Now here, there's a totally different one. Here's another one, kind of like Asian with the spikes, you know, off the face for the beard. Here's another one, right? And here's another one. I mean, the faces are so different and so drastic that this really kind of blows me away. So there's tons of different faces. I'm doing an Elementalist build, so I'm actually going to go with this guy right here. I love this, kind of like the evil pumpkin man face. And then you actually have the skin color differential right here. So you can change your skin color like crazy. You can go a green, or you can go a red. I mean, this is what makes this game so interesting, because you have all these different color palette options. In the Sylvari, push those color palette options to like the max, which is just amazing. So you can sit in here for hours and just do this stuff. I remember when I was first playing the Sylvari and did my character customization stuff, I was in here for probably like an hour and a half. I shot 4 different videos when I first started with the Sylvari, and I was just like, I don't even know what to choose. I don't even know what to choose. So it's difficult. Okay, so those are the color palettes. The face is pretty straightforward. And now we're actually going to zoom in here to check out the ears. So these are like cauliflower ears. I don't even know. Here, just some more kind of leafy ears. Another kind of leaf in, leaf out. A leaf angle, right? Like an elven ear. This is cool. You have like the bark with a couple leaves ear. So that's there. That looks pretty good. Then this one actually matches the face. It's kind of more like the hard bark color ear. So you have all these different ears. However, my favorite is the tulips. So these are like tulip ears, and you're actually able to customize the tulip ears even further, as we'll see in a couple minutes here. So you can get out of the face details, eyebrow placement, kind of put it wherever you want, and then their angles, of course. So you can change that, brow size, the typical iris size, make them bigger, huge, just whatever. I kind of like to leave them in the middle. Eyelid shape, you can change the orientation of your guy. Then we have the openness of the eyes. Stoned, regular, stoned, regular. I just keep it, again, in the middle. The width of your eyes, how far apart they are, and then the scale of the entire facial feature there. Now here you can also change your eye color, so you can do kind of whatever you want. I actually go with the whiter eyes, the whiter blue, but you can do kind of anything. You can do pitch black eyes, which I think look kind of creepy, especially on like a white body palette. Look just so creepy. But I actually go with the white eyes there, and I'm a pretty big fan of the white eyes actually. So you can move all that stuff. It's it's just so cool what you're able to do with these kind of characters, and maneuver them however you wish, which is really neat, really neat. So here we'll go down to the nose again. Bridge width, kind of just whatever you'd expect. The width of your actual nose, so you can make it wider or normal. I again just kind of keep it normal because I like the face as is. The height of your bridge. The height of your nose, which is the point on the end of your face right there. So I just, you can go Pinocchio or regular. This isn't the best face for that. And then, of course, the length of your nose. So you can kind of make it whatever you would like to have. But there's that. Then you have your mouth. This is pretty standard upper fullness, right? Just what you'd expect. Lower fullness, how full your mouth is again. So much better in Skyrim character customization, right? And just how wide your mouth is. Now here's the cool part with the tulip ears. So you can change the length of them, right? Which is kind of just whatever. But this is cool. The tips, actually, you can close them or you can open them. So they can be blooming or not blooming, which I think is really cool. I really got a kick out of that, and I was like, oh my gosh, so awesome. Again, I prefer to keep it kind of mid because that's what matches the character again. But that's that. Now, head, jaw, you can customize your jaw. I mean, again, not too different from what you'd expect, right? Just the typical day in the park. Chin, again, chin length. Head width, make how wide your head is. Head size, again, just whatever fits your character. So that gives you kind of a look over of how cool this race is to customize. So there's plenty of stuff to mess around with. You can kind of do whatever you like. I'm going to go ahead and get a lighter green on this top color here to give myself a little more interesting tone. So yeah, you can spend hours in this, man. You can just absolutely spend hours. Again, there's the lighting right there, so it kind of shows you how it looks, which is really, really cool. And again, you can just keep messing around with this all day, and you will never get bored. It's a promise. That's what kind of makes the Sylvari so cool and so unique in my mind, because I have never seen character customization like this in a video game ever, and to see it like this level of detail is just amazing. Because it really adds to the character, right? It really adds to the kind of build you can mess around with your character and make your character truly unique. I'm going to go ahead and give him white hair there with some folliculos. Yeah, I like that. Now, another thing that's really cool with Guild Wars that I'll get into later on my channel, remember this is just a special for Curb Stomp, is the armor. So you actually start out with a set of armor. You can dye your armor whatever you please, right? So whatever makes sense to you is how you can dye your armor. I personally prefer to match it to my skin color at first. So I always go with the white, blue, and teal. And then the boots, again, you can change the color as well. So really cool, really kind of unique way to make your character yours, which is amazing in my book. You know, it's rare that you ever see something like this and so detailed, which is why I enjoy it so much. The character customization really turned me on to Guild Wars, and that's what's so big about it for me. Again, there's the lighting on and the lighting off, so it shows you that fluorescence in my hair and everything, which is great. So you really get a look at the Sylvari and kind of how their look feels and flows and handles, which is it's just wild, you know. You could mess around with this all day. I could spend a solid hour in this character customizer if I wanted to, just being like, you know, I think I like this, or I think I like that, or no, you know, I think I like this, you know. So you could mess around for just absolutely hours in these character customizers. But anyway, this is a character we're going to go with for me. So I hope that gave you kind of a decent look at the character customization, how it works. And again, the Sylvari are just one of the coolest races I've seen. Now, after you've customized your character, you're not actually done. Depending on what you pick, you actually have choices to make. Now, these can be symbols of earth, air, fire, water, whatever you'd really please. And they're really cool in the same aspect of these are different elements. Now, I already know what these elements are because I've played in all the beta events. So water's healing, for example, fire's damage, earth is protection, stiotic damage, and air is shock damage and maneuverability. So I personally go with water because I like to heal. And it also has a little description here like water, whether frozen or flowing, is life, and the currents run deep in us. So I always prefer to stack my guy around a water kind of aspect, which is a lot of fun. Now here's kind of cool. When you go into certain quest situations, it may just be dialogue, right? But you'll actually have different things to mess with here. So charm, you make yourself charming. Dignity, you're dignified even when you're up to ears in mud. It's what make people respect you, so you work with dignity. Or you work with ferocity, threatening violence, right? So I'm always a charm guy. I'm a suave guy. I like to sweet talk my way through things. And then here, again, your whole Sylvari thing is you're in this dream and you're kind of born. So that's like really cool, really unique, and that's how that kind of flows. And you'll see here that you have different ones to choose. Now, I go with the Shield of the Moon, and these elements will actually be percepted throughout your entire story. So make sure you choose wisely and choose what you would like to have in your story. So make sure you have that. So you do have those. You know, it's pretty simple, pretty laid back. Just what you'd expect, right? So I always go with the Shield of the Moon, healing and magic again, just kind of trying to keep my character realistic. And here you have Ventari, and Ventari is like your god, kind of your subsidized, your higher upper, right? What you learned from, and what you will learn from throughout your storyline. Now, each race obviously has a different one of these, but you do have different things like here you go, act with wisdom, but act. All things have the right to grow. Wherever life goes, you should too. So I like that because I'm kind of the roamer. Now, the Sylvari are born during certain times of the day, and these make them different kinds of people. Now, of course, these are different for every race, again, right? But these will make your character different. So you have Cycle of Dusk, naturally curious and thoughtful. Cycle of Day, solve problems by attacking head-on. So it just kind of gives you a little background to your character. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Cycle of Dust here. Now, this is a little confirmation that basically goes over all the options that you just made and kind of what your character is. So, because I chose Charm, Though trouble may follow me, I overcome with charm. That's a direct result of my choice. The pale tree awakened me during the cycle of dust. And the most important of Inari's teaching is, wherever life goes, so too should you. So all these options are built into this letter, kind of signing that this is your character, this is your story, you're confirming your character, which is really cool. Again, I chose Shield of the Moon for my dream, right? So I'm called to find this Shield of the Moon. It's important to me throughout my questing. I'm an elementalist, and I study all the elements. I wear an element that symbols my love of water. Again, that's the element that I chose to do. This is my story. And then I go ahead and sign my character name. Now, you can do 2 words. You can Earth, right? You can do first and last name if you want. You can just do your primary name. So I'm going to do Avialence because that's like my tag. And then this will actually complete your character and take you into a cutscene. So guys, this is actually the first video for Curb Stomp I'm going to be doing. I will be doing plenty of other videos, and I really do hope you enjoyed this video covering Guild Wars 2. Remember, if you have any questions about Guild Wars 2, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, or you can contact me in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have so far as I know. Stay tuned for more videos coming out this weekend, both on my channel at youtube.com/Avialence and here on Curb Stomp Modeling, covering PvP, because I'm really going to be touching on PvP this weekend with the Guild Wars 2 beta, and again, tons more Guild Wars 2 content when the game actually does come out on August 28th. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut my commentary and leave you guys to enjoy the comic book/art blend style that is the Guild Wars 2 storytelling as my character is introduced into the world. So please enjoy, and I'll be talking to you in the future. Have a good one, everybody. Remember to like, comment, and also subscribe to Curb Stomp Modeling's page. Plenty of good contents on the way, and I'll be talking to you in the future. Have a good one, guys.
I am Sylvari. 25 years ago, my people first appeared in Tyria. The pale tree flowered, and the firstborn awakened. The dream contains my race's memories. We gain awareness here, and then awaken into the world. The dream fills me with knowledge, and is my connection to others. It is my inspiration, my guiding light. While here, I have discovered my purpose: to face evil and destroy it. Even now, I sense my destiny calling me to awaken. My time is soon. Nature and goodness are under siege. All life hangs in the balance. If Tyria is to survive, it will need us. If we fail, the dream will be consumed by nightmare, and Tyria will wither and die. I dream of secrets. The voices of my people whisper to me of spiderwebs and hidden knives. I see the symbol of a crescent moon on the curve of a shield. It is a symbol of wisdom. The dream hints at my future. I glimpse the faces of those whose secrets I will shelter, and who, in turn, guard mine. I will uncover truth and fight the nightmare that festers in wicked hearts. On the eve of my awakening, I feel the earth singing in my bones. And yet I sense darkness approaching. Something intrudes upon the dream. It blocks the path to my awakening. Before I can enter the world, I must first face the secret and vanquish it. I am summoned by the dream. This is my story.